Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to replace your DualSense front shell with a replacement one. For this tutorial you're going to need your screwdriver with a Phillips 0 bit, you need a pair of tweezers and an opening tool. You have a parts tray as well, it's very handy to keep all your screws in one place. Pop off this front trim and take your opening tool and just get it in there, lift it up. We'll do the other side, and from there you can just pry it off and go gentle. Once you've got that off, you can pop that aside. We're going to pop off the shoulder buttons, that's the R1 and the L1. You take your opening tool, wedge it between the shoulder button and the trigger, and then just lift gently, and you pop off really easy. This will give you access to the first 4 screws, one there and one there, and then 2 on the bottom, there and there. So we'll start with them. Take your screwdriver and just undo them. Do the ones under the shoulder buttons. Now that you've got them off, you can open up the shell from the back. Easiest way I find to do it is put your thumb on the front plate at the bottom there, squeeze it open slightly and just wedge your thumb in there. That way it creates pressure. You bring in your opening tool. There's 2 clips here that hold the back into place. You just want to pop those gently. You will need a little bit of force just to open at the back. You want to open it like a book. In here we'll need to take out a further 3 screws, but first we'll start with the battery. So just take that off, pinch the cable right at the end, and then just pull ever so gently and that'll come out. Take out these ribbon cables, so just pop that off the battery cage, take that out gently. Same for the other microphone. We're going to take the ribbon out very carefully, then round at the front we're going to lift it over that hook, and then just pull on it gently. So what we want to do is help guide it. We're going to push it down into that hole, and that way it'll come straight through and we've popped into your parts tray. Got 1 screw in the middle and then 2 screws on either side. Once they're free, you can take off the battery holder, and this is the touchpad ribbon. We want to just gently squeeze that with your tweezers and pull it gently, and now you should be able to take the middle board out. Now we're down to this point, we can start opening this and transferring our buttons over. What we're going to do first though is just deal with the touchpad. We're going to pop the existing one out. So if you fold it out like that and then lift it up, it'll come free. Then with your touchpad free, you can take your screwdriver again and just undo that screw there. Grab the back of the touchpad like that. Grab the front of the touchpad and just pry it from this top corner. Do like a little twist and a pull that way. So just like that, and that'll come free. Now the method that I use to get the touch sensor away from the front of the touchpad, doing a little pry up from one side. You can take your pry tool and just squeeze it on the inside. Run all the way along the front. You can go up from the middle, and then just slowly lever it until the whole thing pops off. Go very gently, not to rush it because you could break the component. Put that out of the way. Take the touch sensor, and then we're just gonna pop it straight onto that. On this right hand side, there's a little notched bit of plastic that goes into the little indent on the touchpad. Pop your ribbon through there and then line up those notches. When you've got a good line up, simply squeeze down until that screw hole lines up. We're going to take the screw that you've just taken out of there. Now that we've got our touchpad assembly done, we can pop that into the new housing. Just angle it that way, tuck it in from the top, close it into place, and it goes over these two notches. It can be a little bit fiddly. Just make sure this part of the housing tucks over the top of the trackpad. And that first part is done. We're going to take our old housing and we're just going to pop all the buttons out aside. Pull any buttons that you can't let fall out and just drop them all out. Now before we're done with this front shell, we first want to take this rubber surround. Just using your tweezers, you can just pry at one corner. You'll also want to come in and remove your accent rings. Here it's just a matter of reversing all the steps that we've just done. So pop that on and then just squeeze it in all around using your opening tool. And we're going to pop on the accent rings. Just pop in the mute button, the PS logo button, and the rubber to go on the back of that. We'll pop in the D-pad and the rubber to go on the back of that. You're going to get each of your symbol buttons and pop those back into the correct place. Little tip here, the larger of the notches go in towards the center. Finally, we'll pop in the options and share button, also not forgetting the rubber that goes on the back of the symbol buttons. Now that we've transferred all the buttons to the front, we can take our center frame with the main board and just pop that back into place. From here, we're first going to pop in the touchpad ribbon. We're going to take our battery holder and we'll take a screw to secure that down. We'll take two more screws, so you just pop it into those two holes there, one there and one there. We're going to reinsert our microphone cables. I'll pop this through the front of the controller at the bottom here. Be very gentle not to pull it too hard. When it's through a little bit, we can take the tail of that connector, just pull it gently so you've got a little bit more room to pop it into its component. Then from the front, we're going to make sure the microphone slips into this slot here, and then make sure it's over this notch. And I'm going to take the other microphone. We're going to use tweezers to grab hold of the tail of the connector. And we're going to pop that in its place. Tuck that into the bottom of the battery housing. Next, we're going to take the battery. And we're just going to make sure that's the right way round. Best way to make sure it's the right way round is if you look at the pinholes, they should be closer to the outside edge of the controller. Pop it into the battery connector and sit the battery back in its cradle. Now that we're done with the internals of the controller, we're going to take the back and pop that on. Easiest way to do this is to line up the top of the controller. So you want to line it up at an angle like that. Make sure you are clear of your trigger buttons. So just push them forward and they should click into place. And now your controller is ready to have the screws put back in. Now that we are done with that, we need to pop on our shoulder buttons and also the trim. Just line up the two notches into the gaps, then just very quickly snap it into place. Push it down at the front, on the underneath. Just lift those and guide them into place, making sure not to bend any of clips inside on the face trim. Once they're lined up, just kind of pop it forward into place, and that should lock. Just like that. Very simple. Give it a good squeeze, make sure everything's closed up together, and we'll do the shoulder buttons. So you want to grab your first one, R1. You'll see how it's got these jagged spikes, and they guide into a slot at the top here. So once you've got it into the slot, just push it down and it clicks into place, and that's staying there now. Same with your other one. Just again, follow these guides into the slot, click into place, and there you go. You are done. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and follow and visit skinpixel.co.uk for your own custom DIY shells.